Alright, this is a loser. It's a story about my life.
You're late! Oh, come on!
I always have trouble with it. Alright. The art of chasing children. That's the first sentence of the piece. I work with kids in elementary school. You can tell by my mustache. I help. I help out during recess. There's a kindergartner who sometimes approaches me with a grin on his face and says, "You have to won me," as if waving, like as if he has a contract, and he says, "You're the monster." So I raise my hands above my head so they are now looming monster hands. I bare my teeth and start running. The kid's eyes light up and he takes off across the field. The trick is to run about as fast as you can until you start beating him, and then you fall back a little bit to let him win. Doing this with subtlety and grace should come naturally. The other trick is to avoid obstacles, fluctuations in ground level, trees, other kids. By the time the kindergartners go back inside, I feel like I imagine Springsteen must feel after playing a 7-hour concert. I'm not an athletic guy. One lap around the playground and my head is swimming, and the pain in my left leg that also acts up when it's about to rain is stiff and stings. I'm 26 years old, you guys. The latter not being that I'm 26, but the latter is that the leg thing is something the physical therapist told me there was no real way to work on. Last year I was living in Berkeley, which is a great place where people with no real mental illness consciously adopt schizophrenia as a lifestyle. This way they have the advantage of being able to yell at people in public and ignore basic hygiene standards without ever having a real affliction that they can't control. They can quit anytime they want. In Berkeley, the law is that pedestrians always have the right of way, which is a great rule to set up in a place where everyone intentionally ignores rules as a matter of personal philosophy and drives around in a 1965 Volkswagen bus and is 80 years old and high as fuck. Last year I was walking to the grocery store and a zip car driver stopped, looked to see the people on the other end of the street weren't crossing, failed to see that I was, and plowed into me. I remember thinking like, man, really? Like as if like my laptop had broken down unexpectedly or someone had cut in front of me in line. That low-level inconvenient feeling could have been my last feeling. My head hit the car's hood and the front bumper hit me just below the knees and I fell backwards onto the pavement. I was able to stand up briefly and spit out blood and call an ambulance. I didn't have a concussion or any broken bones. The driver, like the car, admittedly did not match the stereotype I just described. He was about my age and wore a t-shirt with, I think, like a lightning bolt on it, like Skeeter Valentine's t-shirt. 90s kids, right? He seemed very concerned at the time, but then he did not report the accident to the zip car people. I think it's amazing the car had no dent or blood or hair on it when he returned it. When I tried to contact him, he hung up on me. He was like, "I don't know who this is. I'm good, dude." That's what he said. And he skipped town. Yeah, and so I had to deal with medical bills and stuff. So what I'm trying to say is, if you guys could all just pitch in... No, I'm just kidding. I think the insurance company paid me. I'm okay. But today when this story takes place, I'm looking for stamps. I'm trying to mail my ex-girlfriend in Virginia a packet of R. Crumb trading cards. My plan was to go grocery shopping and a bunch of other things until I realized I had accidentally switched debit cards with my friend at the bar the night before, so I had to go from my apartment in Oakland down to the Mission to switch back, and that took the whole day. Sometimes one minor shitty thing comes to represent everything majorly shitty in your life. And at this moment, I have not only wasted my day, but I still have back pain from the accident. And I'm not running with the kindergartners anymore. It's another thing. I've started a new job at this point with a troubled first grader who's not allowed to be left alone, even to go to the bathroom. And the teachers union isn't allowed to tell me what happened that required this kind of intense supervision. What irrevocable atrocity this kid at the age of 6 has committed to change his life so drastically and set himself so obviously apart from the other happy, normal, smug Berkeley kids. I'm tired and the sun is cooking my face just like every fucking day in this godforsaken part of town. Look, there's a lot of East Bay hate in this piece, which, if you're like a really proud Oakland person, then just throw a brick in my face, or make a cool painting of me where I'm like evil Ronald McDonald and it says Monsanto and there's flames and gas masks and, you know. It's like an emotional Night on Bald Mountain. Like, remember the Fantasia where it's like, bum, bum. There's like wraiths all around me. Today I feel like my life struggle is not about art or family or anything else. It is merely a struggle against my own stupidity. The definition of a loser has to be someone whose random misfortune is compounded by his own bumbling. If you look at the picture on my student ID, which was taken 2 years ago, I was fatter back then. I didn't have this mustache, which is blonde. It's the only Californian part of me. I lack a little scar on my forehead. I seem generally more vivacious and clueless. I try 3 different places and everyone tells me, slightly condescendingly I feel, that they don't have stamps. It's Sunday and the post office is closed. 7-Eleven doesn't have them. And I break down and say, why? Why don't you have stamps at stores anymore? What's going on? Where am I? An older fellow, tall, he's got a shaved bald head and he's behind me in line. He says, I tell you man, times change, you know, people don't send letters anymore, it's a shame. I know, but it's nice to get a letter sometimes. How many you need? Just like 1. Or come to my office across the street, I got a couple stamps. He takes me to a fancy massage parlor, I get these stamps, and I make an appointment for my back, you know? I walk past the drop box and accidentally drop my mail in the trash. Thanks.